The acceptable use of technology. 701 KAR 5.120, the prevention of sexually explicit materials transmitted to schools via the computer. Board of Education also updated items here. These changes have been made to subject to board approval. Of course, promoting or campaigning for individuals or political parties or issues, soliciting contributions to a political campaign, party, or an issue is not allowed with the use of Laurel County Board of Education technology. Creating or using a website, tweet, or Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, or any other online service that implies or purposely represents itself as a district or school sanctioned site or account other than the teacher websites provided to all teachers by the schools in the district is not allowed. Sending mass emails for non-school related purposes, not allowed. Only district-approved technology may be purchased and used in and for the delivery of instruction. Most of you folks don't have much opportunity to fall under those guidelines. But when you do get on your email, when you are logged into a computer, remember that we do have rules and guidelines that we are governed by. Also, no sense in even going over this, but we are required, all staff is required for this. We have and listen, you can go to the Kentucky School Board Association website, that link there at the top, and see the rules that we are governed by. That's what we follow here at Laurel County. So you can go to that link. If you'd like that link, you can check with me or Marshall, either one. Anybody can get you the information for this link on that. All right, that's all there is. I knew that would be a quick hitter. Bullying and hazing. School Board Policy 9.422 or 9.442. There we go, 9.422. School Board Policy on bullying and hazing. In order to effectively participate in the democratic process as adults, students must learn to respect the rights of others and to interact with them in a civil manner. Therefore, students are required to speak and behave in a civil manner toward students, staff, and visitors to the schools. We never have trouble on the bus with kids talking to each other in a bad way, do we? Or us. So this really applies to us in our job functions. Here are some of the actions not tolerated. The use of lewd, profane, or vulgar language is prohibited. In addition, students shall not engage in a behavior such as hazing, bullying, menacing, taunting, intimidating, verbal or physical abuse of others, or other threatening behavior. Now, we all have a code of conduct book in your packets, I think, and you can, when you do these write-ups, you can go back and refer to these actions, and that's why those was put in there, so that you would have a reference to what the conduct of the student is for this exactly. The definition of bullying. Bullying means any unwanted verbal, physical, or social behavior among students that involves a real or perceived power imbalance and is repeated or has the potential to be repeated. That occurs on school premises, on school-sponsored transportation, or at school-sponsored events, or that disrupts the education process. So not only does that include when we pick the kids up in the morning, take them home in the afternoons, that includes field trips during the day, that includes sports trips in the evenings as well. So trip drivers, we have that responsibility in the same manner. Now, on athletic trips, you've got coaches. They have to go through this same training. They should be the ones that handle that. And if you have a point to where you ask a coach, are you good with that behavior? Because we don't want to allow that especially in this world today, really linked this bullying and hazing and harassment has a direct link to the suicide. So we can't tolerate the bullying, the harassment, the hazing. Definition shall not be interpreted to prohibit civil exchange or of opinions or debate or cultural practice protected under the state or federal constitution where the opinion expressed does not otherwise materially or substantially disrupt the educational process. Go ahead, Marshall. As provided in the District Code of Acceptable Behavior and Discipline, students that believe they are victims of bullying and hazing shall be provided with a process to enable them to report such incidents to district personnel for appropriate action. We are that district personnel, that front line on a school bus. Students who believe they have been a victim of bullying or who have observed other students being bullied shall, as soon as reasonably practicable, report it to a teacher, principal, or bus driver, etc. Employees, now this is what we are expected to do. Employees are expected to take reasonable and prudent action in situations involving student welfare and safety, including following the district policy requirements for intervening. And that's where we would move those kids, what we can do immediately, obviously, we know this. If we have a situation going on the bus, on the way home, we separate those kids. That's your immediate intervention to stop that bullying. Appropriate write-ups or warnings, whatever is appropriate in this situation. Second action we see here, prudent action situations involving student welfare safety, including the following district policy requirements, intervening and reporting to the principal or through a write-up. You can do that through Marshall, myself as well. Immediate supervisor of those situations that threaten, harass, or endanger the safety of students or other staff members or visitors to school or district. Such instances shall include, but not are limited to, bullying or hazing of students and the harassment and discrimination of staff, students, or visitors by any party. We had a couple of instances this past school year to where this was taken to what I would call the most extreme level with some students threatening, which from my understanding resulted in some of those students involved in that being expelled from the school system. So as according to the level of severity, it can be up to expulsion. So it's important that we act properly on those. Cyberbullying, this is something that I dealt with just this week. Already had a parent calling trying to get ahead of cyberbullying by wanting their student, their child, to be placed on a separate transfer bus so that they would not be encountered any activity or any contact with another student. So, here it is a week and a half before school. I've already got parents calling me trying to get their child switched from a school bus transfer. So this is serious stuff, and it goes on a lot. Cyberbullying includes conduct that is based on, but not limited to, a student's actual or perceived race, color, national origin, gender, religion, disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity, distinguishing physical or personal characteristics, socioeconomic status, or association with any person as identified above. As used in this policy, the term electronic communication means communication through any electronic device, including, but not limited to, computers, telephones, mobile phones, pagers, and any type of communication, including, but not limited to, emails, instant messages, text messages, picture messages, and websites. We know it goes on. We see it sometimes. We hear about it mostly, and when we hear about it, we need to report it. We have that duty to report that. No student shall be subjected to cyberbullying by an electronic communication that bears the imprimatur of the school, regardless of whether such electronic communications originated on or off the school campus. The school shall have jurisdiction to prohibit cyberbullying that originates on the school's campus if the electronic communication was made using the school's technological resources, or the electronic communication was made on the school campus using the student's own personal technology resources. So that brings us into the point that your personal telephones, and that's what they're talking about. Logging in as a guest under the Laurel County Schools Wi-Fi opens that up. So just be aware of that for yourself. Parents shall be notified as soon as practicable if their child is involved in a school investigation concerning cyberbullying. School officials may search and seize students' personal electronic device, including but not limited to cell phones and computers under specific circumstances. That's information that we do not need to pass along as to a parent, because we will not be making those decisions as drivers. That usually goes on up to the principal level. Any evidence of cyberbullying discovered during an investigation should be preserved. Such actions may include, but not are limited to, saving the victim's cell phone, text, email messages, printing or copying posts, or other electronic communications available on websites before removing them. Students who wish to report incidents of cyberbullying should contact any school faculty member. Students, parents, and other school officials may also contact the principal to report instances of cyberbullying. This also falls, and I think it's bears repeating or saying, this can fall into workplace harassment too, if you are experiencing that type of action. All right, discipline code, what's that say, 2.20? 20, is this out of the code of conduct, Marshall? Hello, crickets. Hello. Is that? Is that out of the student code of conduct? It's just funny. You guys didn't see it, but I called Marshall. Next thing I know, it's like the prairie dog. You've seen that commercial? Up he pops. So, hello. Is this out of the student code of conduct? Okay. Right. So according to this, if they haven't changed, page 34. But this gives some examples of bullying and harassment. Bullying, hazing, it shows first, second, third offense, and the level of discipline. It can range, even on the first offense, it can range from just as mild as a conference all the way up to expulsion. And then, of course, that's there all the way up through 3 offenses. Some behavior that is not allowed that would fall into harassment: shoving, throwing objects, hitting another student, action using written, verbal, physical abuse with the intent to harass or harm another student. So that's why those student code of conduct books are important, just to read over and get some kind of idea. Okay, Marshall.